Dalvin Cook saga keeps getting a little weirder, I guess. Now, we know the former Seminole looking for a new deal and has said he won't report to training camp without one. Over the weekend, however, head coach Mike Zimmer said Cook has got to change his mind. After Zimmer's comments, NFL media reported Cook told running back coach Kennedy Polamalu that he would report to camp. However, Cook's agent Zach Killer refutes the report, saying Dalvin has never mentioned anything in regards to reporting to camp. That is a quote attributed to his agent. So, something's amiss here. In or out, the Vikings should give Cook a new deal before the season begins.
I'm going to say inbounds to this, BT, mainly because he's such a good, dynamic, two-way player as a runner and a receiver, and I guess really three ways, and more importantly, as a game breaker. And because he was a second-round pick, 41st overall, he's a free agent after this season. And so if you mess around with this too much and let him walk after free agency, that's a bad sign. You got $9+ million in cap space. You can be creative and getting a deal done with him, probably around $10.5, $11 million a year. I would suspect. Definitely get it done for sure. Inbounds.
I don't disagree. I want to give you my answer in a second, but just I'm curious. I'll follow up, which I rarely do, asking you a question. Inbounds. But so we always talk about the depressed market for running backs. Okay, we always lament that they should get paid more with McCaffrey aside. Why would it be such a risk to have a running back hit free agency if they really don't get paid what they're worth anyway?
Because he'll be pissed. And so, yes, he'll be like, all right, you guys didn't want me? Even if someone offers me less than what you potentially could, I'm out. I'm out.
Okay, just want to see where you're coming from. I'm going to say inbounds here, Teak. I'm going to say inbounds as well. Now, when we talk about running backs, there's Tiki's side, and then there's his partner who makes sure that he's not just, filling it up for his boys.
Homering.
Yeah, exactly. He's 100% right here. He hasn't made any money yet in the NFL, and I know that the Vikings can't necessarily view it through that prism of, he's second-round pick, hasn't really made the big buck. Yeah, let's give him money. You still have to maintain financial solvency, but you also have to maintain the weaponry that will put you in a position to get to a Super Bowl or at least have one of the best rosters in football, which they do. Kirk Cousins is good. Kirk Cousins is not dynamic. You need that little check-down guy. He's paramount to what they do. Absolutely. He's very important. He's a key cog of the wheel. They should pay him, and I believe strongly that they will. Inbounds. What a weekend in New York sports. You think about this, and we'll get to the Adams stuff with Seattle. The Knicks hired a coach. Crazy stuff. The Knicks finally get their man as they hire 2011 NBA Coach of the Year Tom Thibodeau. So the former Bulls and T-Wolves coach. One thing about the Knicks, it's always a 5-year deal, so when the guy moves on after 2, he's got 3 years to get paid after it. It's amazing. Thibs is known, every guy it seems, Thibs is known for his defensive mindset and very strict, demanding style of coaching. Plays guys a lot of minutes, practices hard. He's an old-school dude. As we remember, he was fired in Chicago after questions arose about his intense culture, which I just kind of expanded on, and then was dismissed in Minnesota after Jimmy Butler demanded a trade. So, very good coach. Some smoke around Thibs, though. How do we process this? Let's go. The Knicks' young roster will respond positively to Thibodeau's style. In or out?
I'm going to say inbounds to this, BT. And I only do this because I look at the players that they have, whether it's a Julius Randle, who's kind of not resurrected his career, but he's stabilized it for sure with New York. Kevin Knox. There's just a bunch of young, really good players. R.J. Barrett, who I believe want to win, and they want to win in New York. And the only way that they can get themselves back on track is to be disciplined. And I don't see any of those guys as divas, right? There's certain kids that come out of college, and you're like, that's a diva. I mean, good luck. You're gonna have to stop him from taking 30 shots a game, right? I don't see any of the Knicks players as those kind of guys. And so I think they might mesh well with Tibbs. So I'm going to say inbounds of this, BT.
I got to tell you, man, even though this is my team, you pretty much said exactly what I was about to say. You nailed some pretty salient angles right there, because if they had a bunch of divas, if they had a bunch of guys who liked to, even if they were very good offensive players, but there was an indifference towards defense, this is going to be kind of an awkward trade. A little while.
It's going to get ugly quick.
Yeah. I don't even know. Did you mention Frankie Nikita?
I didn't.
Okay, I didn't think you did. And he is... Listen, he's never going to be a real offensive threat, I don't think, although he's probably better than some people think he could be, but he could be a defensive stopper. So he's a defensive guy. R.J. Barrett's a two-way guy. I'm not as convinced on Randall. To me, Randall's a one.
Oh, he's a bridge. He's a bridge
He's
to
a
like
bridge.
interesting. Someone wants him. By all means.
Yeah. It was a 2-year deal. I believe the third year is an option for the Knicks, $60-something million over 3. I think the Knicks have the hammer in year 3. I'm pretty sure they do. But he's a guy sloppy with the ball, not a great efficient player. I think that could be a problem, and I think he could be maybe even shipped out. But I really think that, first of all, Thibs has always wanted this job. He's an assistant coach for the Knicks. He knows the culture. He gets the building. He gets the city. And, I think he's not coming in with championship rings. And that's one thing that players react to. But he is a Knick in his blood. And I do think that will resonate. I'm not saying it's a home run. It's a solid double in the gap. And if they ever pop with the right draft pick or two, then it could maybe equate to a home run. But it's a smart, savvy, solid, sensible basketball hire. I'm behind it. I liked Atkinson too. Wanted no part of Jason Kidd. None. I'm okay. I think the Knicks did pretty well. Thibs can coach. I think he's smart enough to look in the mirror, self-assess, and tweak what got him in trouble in the other places. Dial it down a little bit. It's 2020. You can't run him all day. Shohei Otani, rough weekend on the mound for sure. Didn't record an out. And by the way, on Friday, he was the first base runner at second base.
Yeah.
And I think he got picked off, right?
Yeah.
Off?
Going to third.
I'm going to third.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was a sack bunt that was kind of jacked up.
Yeah, got thrown out, go to third on the bunt. Yesterday, first start on the hill since Tommy John surgery. And as I said, didn't get an out, gave up 5 earned runs, walked 3, 6-4 loss to the A's, in or out. The Angels should continue to pitch Otani this season if he continues to struggle.
I'm going to say inbounds of this, BT, because it's kind of an experimental year in so many ways with Major League Baseball. And again, we talked about it to start the show. Who knows if the season's even going to continue? So I'm going to say inbounds of that. We know he can hit. Let's just see if he can also be the two-way player that everybody has been talking about. And by the way, the starting the runner on second base, it's great if you can get outs, like if you can strike guys out. If you
that's
can't,
the whole thing.
If you can't, it's death, man. Mets, Dansby Swanson hit the runner in, and I was like, this is over for the Mets.
And there was a grand slam on Friday with the A's.
Olsen. That's right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, and it's going to happen probably more than you think. By the way, I've noticed more bunts in Major League Baseball so far this year, probably because of every game is basically 2.73 games roughly. We talked about. I would still pitch him. I would like to define struggle.
Yeah.
Because generally if you struggle for, 8 or 9 starts and the velocity's down, which it is, by the way, he was living around 92, 93, maybe more than he wasn't
Where was he when he came? He was 90,
mid-90s. He was higher. He was up there, no doubt. But his slider was flat. To me, his slider was very non-threatening. It didn't give the hitter, granted, one start, I got you, but it didn't give the hitter enough to think about from different levels, different layers, where you see different spins. It was flat.
Yeah, I forget now. When he came in, he was fastball, obviously.
Yep.
Fastball, slider, what? Was it a change?
I think he's got a change. I think it's more of a show-me pitch. His fastball is out. I mean, he's blessed with a big arm. Slider.
But you got to mix it with something, though. Right?
I'm going to check Fangraphs during the break. I want to see how much he throws the change up.
Yeah.
I would guess anywhere between 8 to 11%. I would guess.
Yeah.
More of a show-me pitch just for a little variance. But
gotcha.
Again, I'd like to see the miles per hour get back up a little bit. But I'm going to give this at least 5 or 6 starts. As long as there's no pain or discomfort, then you just give him baseball.
Tune in next time for another edition of Inbounds or Out of Bounds with Tiki and Tierney.